please see me or Rita or Kelly at the end. We are still looking for a new home. We have pretty much exhausted everything, at least that we had, and we thought we were just about to find someplace in that kind of, well, I don't even like the word fell through, because what I know is that we don't want to be anywhere unless it's the perfect place for our next transition of CSL Kaua'i. So we are still looking, so all suggestions are just wonderful. We are turning 2 years old. I know I don't look it, and Rita doesn't maybe look to, but CSL Kaua'i is turning 2, so we're having our big fundraiser, and we're having our big party on July 12th at the Lidgate Pavilion, so please come, bring potluck, and we are going to, and if you would like to help set up and tear down, please see our man right here, Ron, and Rob. It's here, over here, and there's sign-up sheets. Let me see, bulletin board, bookstore, volunteers, June birthday cake, spiritual, yes?
Treehouse.
And treehouse, yes. After service today, we have our men and women's group. The men meet over by the heiau and one of the little pavilions, and the women meet at the pavilion to start with, and then they go wherever they need to go, that there's a place for you. So please do join us. It's about an hour. And we're very good at getting you right out there, and then you have the rest of the day to yourself. Gifts of Grief. I know it's not the most exciting title, but let me tell you, it's a very important workshop that Kaua'i Hospice has given us next Saturday at 6 p.m. in Princeville at the Community Center. And they're going to show the movie, which is about an hour, the documentary, and then Carolyn Mira, thank you. She'll be there at 6:30. Well, it's actually 6. It was just not right in the program. So they're going to show that, and it's really good. All ages, I really believe. And if you've ever been through hospice, as I have been this last year, it's just something I wish I had known a little bit more about before I actually experienced it. Then we have, Taizé next Tuesday. It's a first Taizé, and you're thinking, what's a Taizé? Sounds like a Taizé gun, but it's really not. It's Taizé. And Taizé is all music and spoken word, but mostly music. And these two wonderful people right here, which is Carrie and Michael, our special artists, are also going to be up there next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, at 6:30. And it's just meditation, music, meditation, and some readings. So if you've ever been to one, you know how wonderful they are. If you haven't, please put it on your calendar. And that's in Princeville. Alrighty, I think that's enough of me and our commercials.
Can I say one thing?
No. No. Yes, of course.
I just want to mention that Kaua'i's here if he wants to go with Janice.
That's right, Kaua'i is here. Hi, Kaua'i. He's our youth leader.
Janice thinks she's on the
Yes.
Right. All right, so, and that's Janice, our actual youth leader, and our head guy over here, Kaua'i. So, welcome. So this is our time now. We're just going to take some time to relax even more. We're going to center ourselves. This is our time of meditation. I call it just some time to be with yourself. And I actually... And we're going to do our peace candle. Rita's going to do a little bit more about this, but I do think that we need to take a moment, speaking of peace, for our brothers and sisters in Charleston. And this is one event, but it's about the whole global meaning behind this. So we light this every week because we believe that peace begins with us first, and then it transpires out into the world. So there we go, and Rita, like I said, we'll be doing a reading later just about that. So take a couple of nice deep breaths. And just know that that breath that we are breathing is the breath of life. And close your eyes if it feels comfortable for you. And I chose a little seed thought to go into our time of meditation today. And it's from Ernest Holmes. And he says, prayer does something to the mind of the one praying. It does not do anything to God. God cannot help making the gift because God is the gift. Enjoy your time. prayer does something to the mind of the one praying, it does not do anything to God. God cannot help making the gift because God is the gift. And as we listen to this wonderful, wonderful, soothing music, orchestrating from life itself, from these two beautiful, beautiful light beings, this is what I know. That there is a presence, there is a force, there is love in this room running through and as each and every one of us. On this day of Father's Day, that Father within is speaking from a place of power, of love. And the solstice is here reminding us that change is a good thing, that we are the seasons of life, and that we are moving through them with ease and with grace and with power and with just absolute joy. So knowing that, I just know that this time together that is here on purpose, we unfold perfectly, easily, with joy and laughter and meditation and contemplation. And our words are spoken, and we came here to receive and to give. I know this to be the absolute truth of my being, and I just know and claim it for this gathering of love, this gathering of Ohana. So knowing that, we just simply release, get out of the way, and let the unborn moments be born. As together with mahalo in our hearts we say, and so it is now. Just let that land for a moment, yeah? Nice.
Welcome, everyone, again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Rita, but I think pretty much everyone in this room probably knows both of us. And Michael and Carrie, we introduced these wonderful, special musicians and people on this planet Earth. I just love them. Thank you for being here with us today. So welcome to Science of Mind and Spirit, which is what we practice here, which is an ancient wisdom where we celebrate the magnificence of all of us, of all of creation, as being right where we are, not outside of ourselves, but right where we are. As we look into the eyes of each other, we know that we are looking into the eyes of God, into the eyes of love, into the eyes of peace and joy, no matter what is happening in our lives. That's the true essence of who we are, and that we understand in this teaching that our minds are the point of all change. It doesn't happen on the outside, it happens within each of us. And as we use our minds better and better, our minds connected to our hearts, because now we're finding that the heart is the brain, actually the center of the brain. Also, they're finding that out. Like we knew, follow your heart, right? So as we do that, and as we live more from that place, and think more from that place, and act more from that place, then we see the change. But it has to start with us, as Patrick said before when we were talking about peace. So welcome.
Welcome. And also, just on another note, today is Father's Day, and today is the solstice, and lots of stuff, good stuff comes up on this day, and I just want to acknowledge it and let you know that whatever you're feeling, whatever is experiencing you're having today, whether joy, maybe your heart is filled, that you are in a place that is safe to feel that, whatever it may be. And that's an important thing to know in this world today, that there is a place, and that place of safety begins with us. But I also want you to know that we have a community here that also takes a space and makes it safe for us. So who is here for the very, very first time? Anyone?
First time, anyone?
Yeah? Okay. We have something for you. Good morning. And anyone else? Am I appearing? No, I see some people. Yeah, she's coming in. And I see some people are back from their Toronto and their exploration of our lineage of Science of Mind, which are Rob and Roseanne. Welcome home. It's nice to have you back. And so, just so you'll know, this is our staff photographer, our sound man, and our bookstore person. person and the person plugs me in if I need to be.
Okay, good.
Okay, we just need a little bit bigger area. Hello? Yeah. Okay, so we know something about you, but I don't want you to get like, too nervous about it. But we do know something about you. We'd like to share that. Shall we?
Yes.
You are magnificent. But then you knew that. Yes, it does make people filled with laughter, right? Because you go, how did they know? How did they know I was magnificent? Well, I'll let you know. The reason we know that about you is because we know that about ourselves. So what do we say all together? I am magnificent. Say that again. I am magnificent. Now look to somebody to your left, right, behind, whatever, and tell them who they are. You are magnificent. You are magnificent. You are. Alrighty. So on that note, we're magnificent, and I think it's time, I don't know, to get happy. So
We have a new opening song because we have 2 new people here. So,
oh. Okay, if you'd like to stand, that kind of gets the energy flowing. If that's all up to you, but.
So I hope you guys are
Oh.
familiar.
Oh yeah.
So we hope you're familiar with this. We're ready to have fun?
Yeah, it's a little echoey. Or is it just me?
I'll check it.
No, it's not you, it's not me.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, here we go.
And it's in your program if you want to look at the lyrics. But I think you'll know.
I seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine is here, you can take a break. I have a balloon like a ghost face. And I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Here come bad news talking this and that. Give me all you got, don't hold it back.
Oh, they're into it now.
I should probably warn you, we just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Because I'm happy alone if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy alone if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy alone if you feel like that's what you want to do. All right, here we go.
Bring me down, and nothing. Bring me down. Love is too high. Bring me down, and nothing. Here we go. Bring me down. Love is too high. Bring me down, and nothing. Bring me down. Love is too high. Happy, happy, love is nothing. Happy, happy, happy.
Alone if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy alone if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy alone if you feel like that's what you wanna do.
That's right. Couple practicing on that. We're on the road.
Michael had to come over and make sure I was clapping right, because I guess I was
Thank you.
Yeah. I really apologize if you're here for the first time for this massive depression that we're all in. Happy!
Here,
Slap happy.
you know how I feel about that. It's an old joke.
bigger pulpit, that's right.
Okay, let's take a deep breath. Oh, that was great. Thank you so much. So, there's been obviously a lot of sorrow recently due to this incident in Charleston that is really a big deal, a real big deal. And, but not new to us, because we seem to keep repeating the same pattern over and over and over again, not just in our lifetime, but through the centuries. My friend and our friend and colleague, Reverend Gary Altman, I don't know if you remember him, but he was here right when I guess in October, the year we first started. And he put a post on Facebook yesterday, and I thought it was so good and that I wanted to read it to you, just about this. And he said, he titled it, "Peace Also Takes Courage." There has been some talk about us all being responsible for the killing in South Carolina. And in some ways we are. We all share a field of consciousness that contains the entire history of mankind, the good and also the terrible things that we have done to each other as part of our human race. We all share this field, and we are all subject to these ideas taking shape in our life if we accept and believe these ideas as part of who we are. And we then bring these ideas into our and the world's experience through our actions. This is where our responsibility lies. We must manage our own part of this field of consciousness, take care of our own backyard, and by backyard, I mean our own mind. How do we do this? We do it through the power of choice, and by being aware that if we are not careful, things can creep into our belief system that we will share with the world, which is not aligned with our true self. That, I believe, always wants to act from a place of love and compassion. While I strive to come from my true self at all times, I recognize that it is unrealistic for me or anyone else to think it can be done 100% of the time. This field contains thousands of years of history, both fear-based and love-based. The power that the field of consciousness wields over each of us is enormous, and the ease of just allowing what has been to continue to be is an easy choice. It is difficult but necessary to maintain our responsibility to always be aware of what we are allowing into our thinking. But when we are self-aware and when we recognize less than loving and compassionate ideas springing forth from our mind as choice behind our actions, we must do the brave thing and own it and make amends, like an apology if someone's actions, an apology. Someone's actions, like what happened in South Carolina, require more than apology. Then we would be subject to the chosen justice means of society. Being brave enough to own our mistakes and feelings that come with them is what I believe Brain Brown is saying in Daring Greatly. We must dare greatly to live in a civil society. Peace also takes courage. So, and we're going to talk about this more later, but I wanted to read that, and I wanted us to just affirm, because it is true, it does start in our own mind, and we do affect the whole by what we think. And it's pretty, easy sometimes to think our little things that we do, like, cussing somebody out to cut us off or something like that. And I'm not saying anybody here does that, but you know what I'm talking about. Or thinking something doesn't affect. And what Reverend Gary is saying is true. Everything we do, even the private of our home and our minds, does affect the field of consciousness. And it's time for us to take responsibility for our backyard. I agree with him. And to raise that consciousness. We can do it. We can do it. So I have an affirmation for us, and then I'm going to do a prayer. And the affirmation is, I respond as peace in my world. I respond as peace in my world. Say it one more time. I respond as peace in my world. So taking that in and just allowing it to fall gently into our subconscious mind where it does its work in our life. I know that I respond as peace in my world, and I know that for each and every one of us and each and every part of creation, because the power and light and energy and source that we come from is peace, is love, and is all that is the beauty and the light. That's what we come from. And I know as we each step forward into that magnificence and into that frame of mind, that we can't help but affect the world, affect the whole, affect the environment, all of it coming from ourselves. And as one of us does it, each and every one of us, there builds momentum. I know that, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. I know that. I claim it, and I bless these dear sisters and brothers in South Carolina. I bless them, and know that at this time of sorrow, at this time of this deep hurt, this deep pain that I know they must be feeling. I know I feel that pain also and that hurt, because we are all connected. And I just let myself rise out of that and just feel and know the truth behind it all, which is love that permeates this experience and brings each and every person to an elevated state of consciousness of love, to know that they are comforted by this great comforter, that they are safe, that they are expanding in this knowing of who and what they are. And I bless also the person that did this horrible deed, knowing that he is not his actions, he is still that divine presence of God. And I bless and know that things are taken care of with the law of cause and effect. I don't have to worry about that. All I have to know is that within him, that light, that thing is the same thing that we all have. And I know that that thing, that light, that power, that energy is now raising in his consciousness as well. And I see him in that light. And I just know, as we can each do this for each other and for ourselves, that this planet does raise in consciousness and an elevation that surpasses all that has ever come before it. For we are new in every moment, and we get to take the responsibility right now for this moment and move forward. I know that, I claim it, and I know it's done with love, peace, serenity, and I just bless it. I give thanks for the demonstration of my word as the law takes it now, and I let it go and let it be so as we say together as one, and so it is now. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's breathe. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. And I get to now turn the time over to Michael and Carrie to give us some beautiful music. Thank you.
That second chance.
heart with us. That's the kind of love that changes the world. That's the kind of love we're talking about, that I was talking about in my treatment, that will heal everything. So thank you. Thank you, Carrie. I love you. It's safe. All right? That was beautiful. If I had known the words, I would have did that Edelweiss moment at the end of Sound of Music, you know, when Captain Von Trapp comes up and sings with Julie Andrews when she can't, or she comes up and sings with him when he can't start singing. But it wasn't necessary. You were beautiful. Thank you.
We love you.
We love you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I know, it's a lot, right? It's a lot to take all this. It's a lot to, you know, to sit here and say that things are still okay when they don't seem very okay. And, but in actuality, it's our responsibility to do that, to feel our pain, to feel our feelings, but to keep on going. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, and finish with something special that kind of reiterates that idea. The title of our message today is The Windmills of Our Mind. How many of us have been in the windmills of our mind? You know, we have a saying that Ernest Holmes said, that one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. That's what we've been talking about today. One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. And this gentleman that did this thing in South Carolina thought he was that. He thought that he was the one that had to go forward and do what nobody else was doing. And he used this power, the same power that we all have to use, because there's not one power, there's only the way we use it, and he used it for evil, or for destruction. But what are we going to do? What's the one thing that we have to do that no one else can do but us? Each of us, our responsibility. We each have that responsibility in our own unique way. We have our own fingerprint, right? What I can do, I can do. What Karen can do, she can do. What Ron can do, he can do. Kelly, I could go on to every person in this room, is a unique expression and has a unique responsibility to stand in the field, as Gary said, and be love in their own unique, passionate, beautiful way. And we each have that ability. There's a story in the Bible that says, there were 4 leprous men at the entrance of the gate, and they said to one another, this was in Jerusalem or somewhere, "Why do we sit here until we die? If we say we will enter the city, then the famine is in the city, and we will die there. If we sit here, we also die. Now therefore come, and let us go over to the camp of the Arameans. If they spare us, we will live, and if they kill us, we will die." So they ended up going into this camp where their enemies were, and what ended up happening, supposedly God made their footsteps sound like chariots. And so the enemies all fled, and they got their food, and then they brought it back to the other people, and they lived happily ever after for a while anyway. So I like to look at the Bible as a metaphor. And for me, this story, like leprous men, okay, so it's like our diseases, not like diseases like sicknesses, but just all kinds of diseases like lack, poverty, blah, 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 whatever we're going through, maybe. And you're sitting at the gate, like trying to make a decision about something. And you're making, like, your windmills in your mind are going like all over the place. You're going, should I do this? If I do this, then that'll happen. If I do this, if I jump off here, what if I do this? What if I do that? And then finally, you just have to take a breath and choose one, the one with the most love behind it, and do it. And then what happens? In their case, God made their things sound like chariots, and the Arameans fled. In our case, there's a power within us that meets us as we turn to it. Today's Father's Day, and in the past we've done the story of the prodigal son. When the prodigal son turned toward his dad just turned toward him and opened his arms. He didn't say, you did this and you did that and you did this and you did that. He just took him into his arms and treated him like a hero. Well, there's a power within us once we make a decision, once we make a choice that meets us and takes us forward and holds us up and makes us sound like chariots. Makes us sound like chariots, and that powerful. So what is that change that we want to make in our lives, and why do we stay here? They said, why stay we here? And I think I mentioned that last Sunday, and Reverend Gary statement about the one mind, as each of us changes that our one place in that one mind, we change everything. It's a fact. So the problem is, and probably why it hasn't happened already, is because we keep going back and we keep forgetting and we keep, as a whole, we keep going back to the same old ways. Like, let's try a war here and let's try this here and see if that works, and it usually ends in violence anyway. So now it's our responsibility. I have been thinking about this thing about the sins of the father, being that it's Father's Day, that we're cursed by the sins of our fathers, and we keep going on and on. Well, there's a truth in that, because we're still living in that consciousness, not fathers like our fathers, but I was in the Hindu monastery the other day, and I was sitting there and went to this really deep meditation, and all of a sudden they were doing all this, they're chanting and they were clanging bells and they were blowing conches, and it was really, really loud. And what I felt was all these thoughts that I had, like kind of just blowing out of me, like shedding out of me, like all these thoughts I didn't want, that I was holding on to from all my ancestors, that I, and all the people that had ever lived, like Gary was talking about in his little thing. And I felt them just just kind of being cast off and being blown out of my mind. I thought, wow, this is a really great spiritual practice, to sit there and just let go of it all and say, I can start right here, right now, in this present moment, no matter what has happened, and have a new thought. That's why we're called New Thought, by the way. So yes, but it has to start with us. And even when, I said before, when it seems impossible, at moments like this, you go, when will it ever end? That's the time, like Ernest Holmes said, to do our best work, is in those times when we think, how will this ever end? Whatever is happening, this or something else in our lives. So I want to just mention, one of my dad's favorite characters was Don Quixote, and he was kind of like a Don Quixote, my dad, because he always had like impossible dreams and things that he wanted to do, but he went and he persevered and did them anyway. So if any of you seen Man of La Mancha, how many have seen it? Okay, or you may know the story about how Don Quixote went out in pursuit of good amidst the most evil time in the world. He just went out and he started to see things as he knew they should be, instead of as they were. So I want to share a song with you to end my talk, and to turn the time over to Reverend Patrick that will take this idea further. And so it's not usually sung by a woman, but hey.
Right.
All your thing.
I'm glad I'm me. That's all I got to say, because most people go, I'll be right back. That was absolutely beautiful. There is such, what's the word? There is such energy in this room today that, and I was thinking of these words, but before that, something else is calling me right now. This has been a little bit of a challenging week for me. Details are not really important, only because they're just stories anyway. But what's more important are the feelings behind them. And there was some, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but there was some doubt in myself. And I thought, this is odd. And I'm very transparent, or at least I attempt at all times to be the best transparent person I can be. And so I had doubts in some of my greatness. And so this morning, when I came here, Karen, I have to, sorry, said, I have something, I made something for you. I was compelled to make something for you for Father's Day, which is around. And I just want you to know how Spirit works, is that everything that she said as she tied it on me was every doubt that I had questioned myself this week. And I went, thank you. Thank you for being Spirit's messenger. And I went, yes, I'm back again and I'm home. And so anyway, I think we should just all spend the rest of the day crying. I don't know about you, but come on, just get the Kleenex out and let's forget all this nonsense. Of all days, I forget the Kleenex. So, and I just want to say thank you, because that was very important to me, and I will treasure that. And I even said to her, I don't think you know how much this means today, because this kind of capped my week, and I returned to remembering who I am. And I was thinking of all of these words that she was saying. They're very dramatic, right? To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbearable foe, and to bear the unbearable sorrow. I mean, we get pretty deep here. To run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong. I want a sword right now. Yeah. To love pure and taste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary. We've all been there, right? It's like, no. I can't go a step further, but yes, you can. To reach the unreachable star. That takes a lot of courage. Someone's saying, go reach for something that's unreachable. That kind of puts you in a really good mood to start out with, doesn't it? And I like this whole idea of Don Quixote because he reminds me a little bit of myself and my passion and my stuff that I have inside of me. And he goes on to say in this song, this is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far. I don't know about you, but sometimes it makes me, I'm reading this and I'm tired, because you're thinking, they're asking me to do this and Don Quixote to fight the windmills. Remember the windmills? It was so, he says to his Sancho, to his friend, he says, do you see over yonder, friend Sancho? 30 or 40 hulking giants. I intend to battle with them and slay them. That's exhausting. And besides that, newsflash, they're windmills. They're not dragons. And that really landed for me. How many dragons perhaps I'm chasing that are simply the windmills of my mind. Are simply the windmills of my mind. And in any moment I have the ability, and yes, it's quite dramatic, and you know me, I love drama. To think of Patrick out there slaying the windmills. But what happens when you get up to them and you find out that those dragons are windmills? And guess what I found out? The purpose of a windmill is to produce power by harnessing the wind. That's what I want. And so I didn't have anything about Father's Day today because all of you know I've been spending a year talking about my mom. And I said, so nobody ever really hears about my dad, and I'm not going to tell you a story because you think you want to cry now. Wait till you hear, I got some stories for you. But I found something out about my dad today. My dad had no business taking on that job of being a dad. He wasn't equipped. And guess what? That's okay. And I remember the hardest time of my life, it seemed like hours as a kid trying to pick out a card that none of the Hallmark words meant anything that I was experiencing. You're always there for me. Thank you for the times. And I'm like, oh my God. So finally, I end up with the Happy Father's Day, have a good day type of a thing, And because I always had to give him one. But what I realized was that my shame and my embarrassment about my dad was because I was trying to live a Hallmark moment. And that's great if you have a Hallmark moment, but I kind of cast it all out, as though there was nothing I could learn from this man. And today, when I was writing this morning my spiritual practice, I found some things about him. And I wish I had brought it, but I can just do it by memory. I realized some things I did not want to be. I realized that I could take the unspoken word of someone, and I did that out of survival, but I learned how to look through my world without words, but the feelings. And perhaps they might have been danger that I was perceiving, but at least I knew how to do that. And I also look at him and say, thank you. Thank you for allowing me a gift that I got to give, which was forgiveness. I would have never learned how to forgive and to be the loving man that I believe myself to be if I couldn't have looked at that and said, I'm going to love you anyway. And that everybody did the best that they could do at the time that they were doing it with what they had. And I have not talked about him for years. But today I know one thing. I say thank you. Thank you. It's time to stop the sorrow part of it and to go, thank you, Dad. And I actually use the words, I love you, wherever he is. And I have a feeling that there must be a part of that essence that says, thank you. He did the best he knew how to do with what he had. And that makes me strong. Now I have a choice. I can carry the corpse of yesteryear, as they call it, and it's heavy. Think about it, right? That's heavy. But then I get to experience a gift that I got today that says, I am that father to myself, that I get the opportunity to father myself the way I think it was so needed to be, right? Well, let me try those on. Let me try that on, that father thing, and see how it is with myself. Yeah. Quite a day. And all of us. And all of us. Thank you. And so I really think it is time, I think there's a theme going on today, that it is okay to cry. It is okay to feel. This teaching is not saying get over yourself. It is saying get through yourself. Allow it in and allow you. So I'm thinking to myself, I am done chasing windmills that I make up as dragons. Today is Father's Day, today is the solstice, and I had wrote, I'm not giving up because that's what this is a quote that I found today. I am not giving up because that's what you do when your dreams are more important than your fears. In other words, you go beyond your fears, and it says you go out there and ignore the odds, you focus on one thing, and that is that your dreams come true.
Yes.
You up for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if we need to cry some more, let that happen. We need to get happy some more, that's fine. But I just leave you with this is a monumental day for me as your spiritual leader, that I was able to say 3 magic words that have never been spoken to my Father. and that is, I love you. How could I not? Look who's standing in front of you. Though he was not the whispering of God itself that created me, but he gave me all of the tools and all of the skills that allow me to be who I am today. Namaste. All righty.
So, it is our
Everybody's gonna be like
time.
napping this afternoon. You're gonna be like, nap.
Yeah, it's our time of affirmative giving,
Yes.
and we forgot to put the affirmation in the program, but I'm going to say it anyway, and maybe you remember it. So, oh, it is? Oh, okay, it is there. Okay, good.
Divine love.
Oh, here,
Oh,
thank you,
yeah.
Rose. It's my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing it returns to me abundantly. We have a beautiful song by Karen Drucker called Gratitude. So let's go for it. Michael's going to lead us.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
So what I know in this moment of gratitude is that I am truly grateful. And I say thank you, not only for the gifts, this God in action, but for your immense consciousness that has been brought into this room today. I know that I am grateful for the opportunity to breathe the breath of life. Grateful for each and every one of us that are the master contributors, not only to our own life, but to this planet, to our lives and everyone that we touch. And I just say yes. And I know that these gifts in this basket multiply and multiply and multiply, because you cannot hold back the life force of spirit. So knowing that, I say mahalo, mahalo, thank you, as we release it. We let it go, as together it's one in consciousness we say. And so it is.
Now. So thank you, everyone. And if anything's come up for you during this service,
Stand in line.
we do have a treatment request box in the back of the room, and our Ministry of Prayer will take care of those treatments. And so you can just leave your thoughts there, something that you want to experience in your life, or something that came up that you want to change today. Because the power of prayer is, as Patrick said in his opening quote, we don't do anything to change God's mind. We only change our own mind. God's mind doesn't need to be changed. It's already perfect. It's already gifting us through us. So we just have to realize that. So that's what spiritual mind treatment does. So thank you to, start at the door, to Deborah and Brenda Joy for being our wonderful greeters today, and for ushering also and taking the collection. And thank you, Roseanne, for the programs. And it's so wonderful to have you and Rob back with us. Yes, and Deborah, where are you? Oh, it's so wonderful to have you back with us too, because I know you've been gone for a while. Yay. And thank you to Karen first, Karen, for setting up, and thank you for giving Patrick that amazing present, because, yeah, thank you for me too. And Kelly, thank you for being there for us.
The list
Yes,
is
the
way
list
too
just goes
long
on
to,
and on and on. Yeah, so I'm trying to see, I don't want to forget,
And the
and
beautiful
Jeanette,
flowers.
yeah, Jeanette, thank you. Thank you for holding
here.
space and for helping too.
And and
Loya.
for Gabi, who usually gets the children, that she's not here today,
Oh,
so we need to get.
somebody needs to get her,
to
bring her back in
Kiali
here, bring
in.
Kiali back into us. And
You didn't think
thank you,
everything was
Malia.
gonna run just like
Thank you,
this.
Malia. And Loya, thank you for the beautiful flowers and for the Father's Day cards you brought and just
Aw.
for everything that you do. And thank you. And oh, okay. Oh, great. Yeah, for all of you that have to get those last minute cards. Loya's taking care of it. And you too. Thank you for being part of our life. And they're just amazing people. They nurtured my daughter this week, and I just totally appreciate that. She had a wonderful week on the island, and you were part of that wonderfulness. So thank you. And thank you for bringing your beautiful music with us to us today.
And Tuesday they'll be in Princeville with.
This Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean.
Next Tuesday.
The
30th. They'll be a principal for our Teze, which
They
is
will
gonna.
be there, so if you go, they will be here this Tuesday.
No, Tuesday the 30th. What we're going to do, it actually has its roots in the Catholicism, but it's basically just prayer, not prayer. It's always prayer, but meditation, like silent meditation, and then there's music, and then there's spoken word. And you basically sit there for an hour and just in a meditative state. And bring your intentions with you. It's really beautiful, and I know with these two, it's going to be even more beautiful. So I think I thanked everybody but Rob for bringing his beautiful father, Papa Bob, who's not here today. They recognize Papa Bob?
Papa Joe.
Papa Joe. You know what? My father, not my father, but my mother's husband.
Here we go.
No, my mother's husband's named Bob, and I always call him Papa Bob. So okay,
There
sorry
you
for
go.
that one. I guess I was thinking of him. Anyway, Papa Joe. I don't know. Happy Father's Day, Papa Joe.
So we have stalled
Okay.
with.
All right, we're ready.
Oh,
We're still.
really?
They're coming.
Okay, so we can actually start. What we're going to do, and this is a perfect song for today, right? Stand by Me. Yeah. This is perfect. So what we like to do is kind of circle up and just get in that wonderful, powerful circle. So we can actually do that as they're coming.
Sometimes in our lives
of this planet today, we have raised it. And I know that what we have felt here, what we have, how we have loved here, how we have given to each other and to ourselves makes a difference in this world. I know that, I claim that, and we take this out and we continue to expand on this love as we go forward into our lives and use it, use it, use it. Be a beacon and a light of love. I know it, I claim it, I announce it, I allow it to be so, and in gratitude in my heart, I just simply release this word as law, knowing that it is done, as we say together, and so it is now.
If there is a law you have to bend that you can't carry out of the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, call me, call me, call me, call me, call
Don't forget the women and men's group and Kaua'i's back. Kelly, did you have a good time? Do you have anything to show us before we? Yeah, I had a feeling.
Uh-oh.
There we go. There he is.
Here, just take it here, it's okay. Look right into the camera over there.
Oh yeah.
I got you covered, Betty.
Whoa,
All right.
okay. That's okay. There's a lot of wires, kiddo.
There's
Okay.
a lot of direction going
All
on.
right.
You're good.
So tell us.
We learned about peace today, and since we were talking about peace, we made this peace plane.
Let's show them.
Yeah, okay.
Woo-hoo!
There we go. You guys all remember this?
Thank
Made
you.
the plane, it actually can fly.
I bet it can.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
Janice.
Thank
you,
you,
Janice.
Kelly.
All right, have some coffee, have some social, and anybody who wants to come to these men and women's group, hey, there we go.